99% of real estate agents are absolutely worthless, but there's two reasons that you got to use them anyway. Now, I've been in buying real estate for 15 years. I flipped over 300 houses. We even own a real estate brokerage. And I'm going to give you those two reasons. And I'm also going to show you how you can find the best of the best real estate agents and what you should actually expect from them. Now, you can use a real estate agent to either buy or sell. Right now, I'm talking about selling properties that you've probably renovated, you've flipped them, you're ready to get your money. Now, reason number one is they have access to what's called the MLS, and you don't unless you're a realtor yourself. The MLS is where all the realtors, so a realtor could be representing a buyer or a seller. You're the seller in this case, and there are other real estate agents who are representing buyers, and those are the people that are going to come buy your property. So what happens is the buyer hires their real estate agent, signs a contract with them, and the buyer's agent sets them up on a search on the MLS. This is where all real estate agents list their property. They set them up on the search. They say, hey, I want to buy houses that are, $300,000 to $350,000. They have this spec, that spec, and the other one. And real estate agents are going to send them that list on some sort of reoccurring timeline. And without an agent representing you, you cannot get on that MLS, that multiple listing service. You could list your house on Zillow or Redfin, but you can't put it on the MLS where all the real estate agents go. And most of the buyers of your end product, the house that you flipped, are going to have a buyer's agent. So that's reason number one. Now, there is one way to get around that, which is, I think there's different services out there. The one that I've used is called List with Freedom or List for Freedom. And it's basically some real estate brokerage who lets you list as a for sale by owner, but it looks like it is coming from a real estate agent. I could explain how it works, but it's kind of complicated. But the point is, it makes it look like it's a listing, but you really get a DIY deal with all the kind of stuff. So you do get access to the MLS that way. Now, the reason that if you were going to list for sale by owner, FSBO, you might hear, that's the acronym, for sale by owner, FSBO. The reason that you don't really want to do that is because when you are selling a property, what you're doing is you're trying to put a positive filter around that property. And we're going to talk a lot about this in that video, in this video. But you're trying to put a positive filter on it. That's why you do a renovation. You're trying to make it, you're trying to increase the value in which people perceive the property. Okay, so what happens with a for sale by owner is that you decrease the market a lot. Most real estate agents don't want to deal with you. Okay, so the only people who are going to find you are ones that are out searching. Okay, and they're out searching because they're looking for somebody who is going to be negotiable to take a bad deal. That's what they're really looking for. They're thinking, oh, okay, well, this guy, I'm going to be able to get a steal of a deal from this guy. He's basically putting the house on Craigslist. Okay, and you're probably not going to take that offer. So then the house is going to be on the market longer. It's going to be out there longer. And then it creates this filter, which is what's wrong with this house? It's been out there for so long. So now you got the filter of this house is probably crappy. It's done by a for sale by owner. And two is that it's been on the market for a really long time. So it must have something wrong with it. That's why you don't want to do for sale by owner. You definitely need to list with an agent. Otherwise, you are just going to take a humongous price hit. It's going to be very difficult to sell that house. That's reason number one. Reason number two is that a good agent sells the other agent. So as I've already explained to you, the other side has an agent, a buyer's agent. The buyers have buyer's agents. Okay, now what most agents do, because most agents are worthless, okay, they care more about how other agents perceive them, their little, boys and girls club of other agents. So they don't want to, rub anybody the wrong way, because those are the people they have to deal with all the time. They don't want to butt heads with other agents because they might see them at agent parties or whatever those bougie people do. Okay. And so with a client, somebody that is buying a house for themselves, for instance, well, they're not going to buy another house for themselves for another 5 years or something like that. Okay. But they might run into that agent, once a month or something like that. And so they, tend to care more about not hurting feelings than they do of actually being a good agent. But here is what a really good agent can do for you. Okay, if they get past that, what they do is they convince your seller's agent, convinces the buyer's agent of something, like truly convinces them of it. They do sales, okay? They are trying to not manipulate, they are trying to sway the opinion that that buyer's agent has of the subject property, the one that you're trying to sell. And if they successfully sway the vision and the filter through which that buyer's agent sees your house, well, now the buyer's agent goes and does the same thing with their buyer. Okay, that's what a good agent does. They do that knowingly. They know that they are trying to sell the buyer's agent that then sells the buyer, because the buyer's agent has trust with the buyer for obvious reasons. And the seller's agent and buyer's agent, they kind of have some pre-built in trust, all right, as opposed to being a for sale by owner. Buyer's agent is going to look at for sale by owner, think you're a loser, and think that, you're not even a real estate agent. So, we don't want to deal with you. Okay. I don't know what that accent was, by the way, but they got their nose up at these people. And, but the other agent, they're equals because they're the cool agent people. And so there's already some brethren trust there. All right. So, a good agent uses that. They know it, and they know that their job is to get the best dang price possible for their agent. And they go in there like a pit bull and they go get it. Okay. But those are the two reasons that you need an agent. Can't get your house on the MLS, and you do not have pre-built trust with other agents, and you need the agent in the middle to do that. Now, there are times that I may know that I need to sell the seller's agent that's working with me to go sell the buyer's agent, and so on and so forth. Not anymore, because it's, like I said, my wife owns the brokerage, so it's my wife that does this stuff, and we're on the same page, hopefully. And next, there are some things that you just expect out of an agent, or you should expect out of an agent. And I've kind of hit on them already, but they always seem to care more about the being a realtor and their realtor friends than they do about the people that they're working for. Okay. They don't mean to do it. It'd just be a natural thing. I mean, think about it yourself in these situations. It's human nature, and things always default to human nature unless somebody does something about it, which is what I teach on this channel and in my free community is you're the person that's going to do something about it. And that's what we're talking about here, is understanding how the water flows so you can manipulate it to best suit you. Okay. Manipulation is not necessarily a bad thing, guys. It's setting up win-wins. All right. So here are the things that you really need from the agent. You need to be able to list on the MLS. You need them to go sell the other agent. You need them to go negotiate for you. Okay. And then there's the digital introduction, which I talk about very often, but this is all an agent really can do. So like a lot of people, I don't know, they think that agents are magic or whatever and have like weird expectations for them. The only thing they can do is get the house on the MLS the right way and then go sell the other people. If you want more than that, you go do stuff yourself. You want TikTok videos, go make TikTok videos. All right. You want them to price the house right. All right. So most of you, you are the reason your house isn't selling, right? You've done so much work to get the house to market. And even though all the other houses in the neighborhood have sold for $350,000, your house is worth $375,000, right? Because I mean, it's your house. Exactly. All right. This happens to everybody. They think they just want to push it a little bit. All right. But the digital introduction, there's a few pieces of it. First is pricing, and that's the most important thing. All right. You're trying to put your house in front of the right buyers. So if you have priced a $350,000 house for $375,000, okay, that means that the buyers who are coming to look at it, well, they've looked at all these $375,000 houses that are obviously nicer than your $350,000 house, but you priced your $350,000 at $375,000. That means that your house is the worst one they've seen all day, every day. That's the worst one they're ever going to see. That's not going to get your house sold, right? You're competing against houses that are clearly better than yours in clearly better neighborhoods. And that's okay. But don't price it too high, because then once again, you're going to put that same filter on where it sits on the market for too long and people start wondering what the hell's wrong with this house. Okay. You never want to be a house that's sitting on the market for longer than the average days on market. And that's what you do by overpricing the house. And then, you might blame the agent in this situation that they need to, for instance, go make more TikTok videos. But no, you just need to stop being stupid about what your house is worth. Just buy better deals on the front end, do good renovations, and then sell it for at or less than it should sell for. Okay. Just move the thing. The market is what the market is. You're not going to change it. Okay. But you do expect from your real estate agent that they tell you what the price is, but it's your expectation for yourself to listen. Number two. So piece one of the digital introduction is the pricing. Piece number two is the photos. All right. The photos are the first thing. All right. If you have actually put the house at the right price point, now you have put that listing in front of the right buyers. Okay. But the first thing they are going to see on that property are the photos of the listing. They're going to see just think about it for yourself when you're looking for houses. The first thing you see is the quintessential picture of the front of the house. Sometimes you do the lights, and sometimes you do, like the dusk photo, at dusk, and where the lights are on and it looks great. You should. Seriously, you should. I have literally bought houses, not done a thing to them, but hired a better photographer, put it right back on the market, sold it for $20,000, $30,000 more. That's how important it is, because that is the filter that you get into people's minds. Now, if you put rose-colored glasses on that property, they go to the house and they see it with those rose-colored glasses on, versus if you have for sale by owner type pictures where it's like on your iPhone, or even like the one that's got the little date in the bottom, because they're that old school. You're like, oh, this is going to be a crappy house. I'm going to get a great deal on that house. This is what you're thinking. Okay. So the photos set the right filter for the house. And then finally is the copywriting. Okay. The copywriting is writing with the intention of making people take an action. This is a marketing thing. All right. Copywriting, writing with the intention to make people take an action. And the action that you want is for them to schedule a showing. All right. You also want to create those rose-colored glasses even further that you started with the photos. And you don't do that by saying, welcome to 123 Main Street. That's the first thing they read. And it's like, oh, gosh, you lazy realtor. Like, be better about copywriting. Copywriting is getting people to feel what it's like to walk through that house, to start to identify with the house. And welcome to 123 Main Street is not it. Okay, what are the best things about the house? What makes it enticing? Like, think about if you were buying it, what would it be? Would it be, walking up to like, these like posts and pillars that you've shown on the front, that's your first picture. You're thinking about how they're walking through it. Is it, poking your head into the front door, and there's like a foyer with brand new floors and big windows that show the backyard, and it's like a wooded backyard. My backyard's wooded. But is it the open concept kitchen where you can serve your friends, entertain or whatever. If you're people who like having people at your house, I'm not one of those, but you get the idea. What are the big selling points of the house? And it ain't welcome to 123 Main Street. Hit them with the biggest stuff first, and make them imagine themselves in that property. Make them want that property. And okay, that's the copywriting. And there's like a fourth that is not as important, but making sure that they approach the property right. When you've done the renovation, you have decided, hopefully, how they are going to approach the property, how they're going to walk up to the property, how they're going to walk in, what door they're going to use, and all that kind of stuff. So just make sure that the agent puts those things in the directions for the other agents. Also, advantage of being on the MLS is they can tell the other agents what to do and how to approach the property. And that's going to help you sell it because you've created the whole renovation, the whole experience for the way that is going to best create those rose-colored glasses, those filters like that we've talked about. And for instance, I have put lock boxes. So like front door was really crappy on a really busy street. Okay, I did not want people to pull up on this busy street and that's how they enter the house through the front door because, well, that would make you not like the house so much. I wanted them to see that later. So I actually wanted them to enter a side door. All right, so on this side door, we did all kinds of landscaping, put an awning over the side door, made it really cutesy, so to speak. And then instead of putting the lockbox on the front, we put the lockbox on the side door. We put that in the instructions so that way the realtors had to go to that side door to get the keys. And then I knew that they were going to be coming through that side door. And of course, when you open the side door, there was a great view and all that kind of stuff. All right, so that's the things that I expect from the real estate agent. I need them because I need to be able to get on the MLS. I need them because I cannot build trust with other real estate agents because, well, they just snub their nose up at anybody who's not in their little club. Okay, but you should expect that real estate agent that works for you to know that and know that they have this in and they need to use it to sell the other side who then goes and sells the buyer. And then they need to do a proper digital introduction. And finally, expectations for you. Only expect what you should expect, all right? Expecting more out of them is only going to dilute what they should be doing, okay? If you're asking them to do all kinds of things that you don't need from them, well, that's not going to help your cause, all right? Your cause is to get the best price as fast as humanly possible. So focus on the things that matter. Guys, like I said in the description, I have a free school community. It's free for now. Not sure how long that's going to be. I get on there. I answer every question every day, except for on Sundays. Get in there. Hit me up. Also, check out this video, and I'll talk to you soon.